and get the glue ready. I always do this, don't I? Oh, there it is. Never mind, I found it. Glue, and I need just a scrap of card. Not that, because it's the same material. Need a little scrap of Fomex. And it's the first thing I need to do is to trim this to size. Good evening, Pip. Sorry I'm late. I was doing some faffing around. I was doing a bit of video editing, well, video shooting, and then a bit of tidying up, like I said. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go again at some point because son's at work. I'm just going to lightly tack these this template down. It just saves me time measuring. So I've just drawn out some shapes, some rectangle strips, the same same width. So this is the width of the panel. These are the width of the strips that I need to make this bookcase. So it's a touch easier than trying to mark it out with a pen on the sheet. Good evening, 404 Goat. How we all doing? Sorry, I very impolitely had a mouthful of mince pie then. First of the year. Oh, thanks for sharing, Pip. I don't know if you're friends with Linda or anything on the other place, but I don't. Well, I've not got her as a contact, and I don't know if she's following on YouTube, but. I was going to make a little video on the other place saying that I was going to go live here, but I never got around to it. Okay, so I'll put that to one side. I've still got some debris from last night stuck to the table. I should have swept up first, shouldn't I? Or maybe even moved my camera to a more photogenic part of the mat. One of these, this one, was slightly off. So have I got you first thing in the morning then, Pip? It's not that important chopping the ends off, but I just want to make sure it's square. Thank you very much. Thank you. These aren't tacked on very strongly, so it shouldn't be too difficult to unpeel. He says, being unable to unpeel it. There we go. Yeah, so the aim is I'm going to try and make at least one of these two bookcases that I've still got to make on the ground floor. It helps if I try and peel the correct side off. So is it a later shift that you do on a Friday then or something? Alright, so we've got several pieces. That should be enough to be going on with. If I need some more, then I'll need some more. Don't need that bit. So this is the scale bookcase that I've drawn out. It's going to take some building, I think, is this. It's one of those funky, sort of, I don't know what you'd call it. There's a bit of a glue residue on there. There is a technical term for this type of bookcase that it's beyond me at the moment. But it's kind of one of those, you know, designer gallery box thing. I'm just sanding the glue residue off here. Oops, be careful not to bend and snap it. So yeah, so I'm going to need to use this as my template to work from. I'm going to try and make sure I go as square as I can. I noticed that little cut there isn't square. So I'm using styrene, 0.5mm thick for this, and solvent cement's going to be the method of attaching. And there's going to be lots and lots of different sized pieces for this. I imagine, even though it looks like I've got a lot, I'm going to end up running out. Okay, so I've got some Revell contactor. This is the type of plastic glue that you would use to make model kits with. It's a styrene adhesive or a plastic cement adhesive. Basically just melts the two pieces together. And if I can find a pair of tweezers, that'll be easier. This is going to end up sticking to the sheet, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It'll hold it in place. So the plastic melts, but not the paper. I'll just twist this upside down so it's a little bit easier to work with. There is a little. It doesn't instant set. There is a little bit of give time before it does. Might actually be better sort of taping this down. I'll try and do it freehand for now. So have you had a day off today then? Sounded a bit wild outside. Yeah, I haven't built a what do you call it, a military model tank for a while, model kit for a while. I used to really enjoy making model planes and ships when I was younger. There's a little bit of give in that. Oops, it's hard to pick up. I think I've also got a little bit of a bend when I was sanding it. It's bent a bit out of shape. At this point I will try and just tack a little bit of glue in that corner and on the bottom. It's going to hopefully just melt enough of the plastic to good evening, Kelly, just to hold it in place. How's Kelly today? Hello, Dream Big. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for popping in. I'm building a tiny little 150 scale bookcase tonight. This is part of my my commission work. I build scale models of people's actual houses. Good evening, Archie love. Good to see you. So this is part of the commission work that I normally do on an evening, in addition to all the little tutorial pieces that I try and make as well. So for this commission, I've actually been tasked with building the interior as well. And as such, I've got lots of tiny little furniture items to make. I've already made the sofa and chairs for downstairs. These are the last two furniture items that need to go in. I'm very well, thank you, Kelly. Apart from being cold, I'm just sat in my conservatory right now, listening to the sound of the wind picking up outside. It's sounding rather rough. It is, and it's supposed to get colder as well. I think this weekend we could be heading for freezing temperatures. Although I haven't looked at the forecast myself. It's kind of just passing conversation with people. You see what I mean? You know, because we Brits like to talk about the weather. The window cleaner came for his money tonight and we were saying how cold it was going to get. The chairs that I've made for the downstairs, I've made them out of Foamex. So I had originally used polymer clay and Foamex, but it's all completely Foamex this time. That's partly because I didn't want to fire the oven up just to bake a couple of cakes, bake a couple of chairs. I probably need my own dedicated clay oven. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so can you see there? We're just following the template there, trying to keep it square. Might just be a slightly bit off. You'll never notice. So I just continue along the pattern of the template here, just cutting out the little sections as we go. Luckily, this bookcase is white, so I don't have to do any painting. Yeah, they've shot up, haven't they? I mean, Foamex prices have Foamex prices have shot up as well. When I first started doing this 3 years ago, it was like 83p a sheet, and now it's about £1.07. I used to get as much as I could possibly want free from work in the form of offcuts when I first started making models out of Foamex, but sadly the company went bust in the COVID pandemic, and I no longer have that free resource. No, I did consider I did stream it live on TikTok when I made it, but the footage wasn't good enough. I kept going off camera and it was slightly off screen, so I was intending originally to have a video showing how I made it, but I didn't. I decided the footage wasn't good enough to be able to rescue or use, because what I normally try and do is I live stream everything when I'm building, so so I've got like a dual purpose in mind. I've got both the live stream audience that can see what I'm doing in real time, but then I can also download the footage and use it to compile longer form videos or edited down videos. But in this case, like I say, I kept going off screen and it wasn't centered, things like that. So maybe I'll because it didn't actually take that long, maybe I'll do a sort of a specific video again, like a reshot video on how I made it. Freedom units. So you're talking by freedom units, are you talking imperial measurements? I've no idea. I'll show you. There's my little ruler. You can see how big this is. I mean, that's my hand as well. I've been model making. Well, I've always been into art, because when I was at school, I was into art as a subject. I did art for A level, and then I went on to do graphic design at university. So I've always been into the sort of the craftier elements. In dollars. Oh right, sorry. I've no idea. I don't even know what the exchange rate is at the moment. Probably a couple of dollars for a sheet. I've spoken to quite a few people from the US who don't seem to know what it is, or don't seem to be able to get hold of it. So I don't know if you guys actually have it as a product over there, or if you do, then I've no idea what it costs. You might even have it under a different sort of trade name, because Fomex is actually it's a trade name rather than a product. Arts and I knew what you meant. So yeah, I've always been into art ever since I was at school, which was a long time ago. But I've been model making for about 15 years now. I started making little house models for my kids' model train set, and then decided I wanted to make things a little bit more realistic, and it ended up being a sort of a vast project for myself, which never actually got underway properly, because as I got better at making things, I started sharing on forums and things, and then people started asking me to make things for them as well. And so my model railway empire in the garage is still yet to see the light of day. I kept faffing around with it and always changing my mind as to what I wanted to do with it. So if I'd stuck to one plan and just done something, I'd have had something tangible to look at right now. But as it is, all I've got is four sets of tracks that go round and round, but no scenery. In fact, the tracks don't go round and round anymore now, because I've disconnected everything to do something else with it. I'm in the process of making another model railway layout for a client as well, so that's sat on top of it at the moment. So do you not, as a nation, do you not really shop much on Amazon, or is it because it's not a product that's normally available in New Zealand that you just it's just not worth getting? They do. I just changed my mind because I think I want it to look like this, or I want it to look better. I want to keep adding stuff to it, and in the end, your visions change. It got to the point where I was still trying to build it and not had all the commissions to make. I'd go into the garage with a good modelling session in mind, and then I'd just stand staring at it, planning in my mind what I wanted to do for about half an hour. And then by the time I'd sort of finished mental planning, I'd think, do you know what? I want to go back inside again now. I've had enough. And so not much would happen. Oh, I really want to make a castle, yes. I do want to make a castle. I think it would have to be something kind of small, because as much as I love building big things, I really can't be getting sidetracked with projects like that when I've got commissions to build. So I'm just using a cocktail stick here to apply the glue in small places. But yeah, I'd love to have a go at making a castle. It's on the list of personal projects to do. I think it does me good to do some smaller projects now and then. Sorry, not smaller projects, but projects that I want to have a go at, just to get away from the pressure of commission work. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, well, I can do this. It's skipping away from me. You need a really delicate touch. I know some of these lines are going to be a little bit off perpendicular. As you can see there, we've just gone a little bit off. You do have a little bit of give time before it fully hardens. I don't know if you saw that one. This is a little IKEA unit that I built. It's got a couple of wavy bits, but I think once it's in in situ with a few little scale books on it, it'll be absolutely spot on. So yeah, I had an initial try at drawing like a castle gate, like a gatehouse. I mean, I can draw a castle gatehouse. It's not that I tried to draw it. It's just, I had a look at trying to look at something. I planned to build a little gatehouse or something, but I never got any further than that. This is contactor. It's plastic cement, liquid glue for plastics. So it's got quite a pungent aroma, using a well ventilated space. But it's the kind of adhesive you'd use for plastic model kits. If you're building something like a military tank kit, or the type of stuff that comes on sprues and military model makers use. So it's it kind of welds the plastic together. It's not a solvent as such. Oh, guys, I'm really sorry. I've got to go collect my son from work. But if you guys fancy coming back again, I'll be back in about half an hour or so. So yeah, styrene glue. So I'll catch you all later. Thank you for joining in, and I will see you soon.